My name is Jeremy Frank. I am very pleased to be here today. I would like to start by thanking Terrence and Mara and the whole Reliability Web team for putting on what I think is safe to say is the highest quality events in the reliability space that exist. And not only that, I'll add to it, bringing the passion and the energy. We saw some of that earlier. It's really special. Frankly, I think it's sometimes too often missing in the industrial world because you do really important work and it needs to be recognized and supported. And so I just think you do a wonderful job. So thank you. With the time I have, I would like to share a few insights, primarily about how to leverage technology. This type of technology to drive real change. Wireless sensors, software in the cloud, comprehensive machine health platform, and increasingly the power of AI to eradicate the root causes of machine failures. And I'll start by reflecting back. So we started KCF Technologies 25 years ago. We came out of the Center for Acoustics of Vibration at Penn State University. And the idea was to take technology out of that lab, the vibration lab, and go solve big, important problems. We actually spent our first 10 years mostly solving military problems. So we were building wireless sensors into the rotors of Black Hawk helicopters and sensor applications on nuclear submarines for the Navy and smart prosthetic limbs for the US Army. And then in about 2010, we shifted. We pivoted from that and went all in on the industrial machine health problem in 2010. And I'm so glad that we did. Because when we got there, what we discovered is there's a tremendous amount of low-hanging fruit. And there's a lot of big, important problems to solve with great impact. In fact, at that time, it took us about 5 years to crack the code. By about 2015, we had companies using the technology at full scale, proactively eradicating the root causes of their machine health issues, saving their companies hundreds of millions of dollars, scaled across every single critical asset, and eliminating 80% of their downtime and 90% of their injuries for their whole workforce, multi-billion-dollar companies. The important message that I want to share is when that was. 10 years ago. It's 2025 today. And that's the message I reflected on, and with our team, we reflected on why is it taking so long? What are the insights we can share to help accelerate and close the gap of success? And I would say there are really three things that I want to focus on. And number one, you've heard it a lot already this week, it's people. People, people, people. The technology needs to elevate the workers, not replace the workers. It's about driving collaboration with the technology. That's number one. Number two, it's about playing the long game. It's about knowing where you want to end up and having a plan, but taking the first step. And then number three, it's about versatility. Every site that we serve is different, and it's important to have the right technologies for your team, for your plant, to solve the problems that you actually have. So I'll spend some time on those three things and what they mean. And hopefully this helps drive some insights that help close that gap and drive more positive change, industrial transformation, and help us achieve our goal to build technology that elevates people. Because the problem, as we've heard multiple ways, the problem is massive. What actually happened, the reason we got pulled into the industrial machine health problem is because the United States Department of Energy did a wide-ranging study in the early 2000s on the reactive maintenance problem. And what they found is that reactive maintenance is responsible for hundreds of billions of dollars of lost productivity every year, just in the American economy. And when you include the secondary consequences, it's into the trillions. But the secondary consequences, we've heard about them. We heard them in Terrence's keynote. Safety is one of those secondary consequences. When OSHA studies industrial safety, it is the maintenance worker performing reactive work who is most frequently injured. It's because of machine failure, machine degradation. And of course, there is a massive amount of unnecessary waste, billions of tons of unnecessary emissions, CO2 emissions, because of machines running poorly and inefficiently. That's the problem. So if you agree, hopefully everyone can agree that that is an important problem, and you also realize that this has been possible for over a decade, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that's holding us back? What is it that's preventing you from solving this problem? What are your other priorities you're dealing with? What's keeping you up at night? What kept your team occupied last week, last month? Perhaps it sounds like some of these things. Increased competition, aging machinery, workforce in transition, labor shortages, tariffs. There's always something new. All of our customers, all of the industries we serve deal with these challenges. The good news that I want to share is that the root cause of the machine health problem is proactively solvable. It's proven. It's no longer an idea. It is a validated reality. And if you do it, it positively impacts your resilience against all these other things, while also saving you a tremendous amount of money. And so that's just the core message, is how we can help point toward that and help everyone catch up. So we asked a question to a group of reliability and maintenance professionals after a presentation like this. Where do you think this problem is coming from? Where do you think most machine health degradation is coming from? And the dominant answer was almost half of it is coming from improper maintenance. And actually, so we have billions of high fidelity measurements coming in from all these machines. We have a rich, deep data set on this, and I can tell you this is about right. The only thing I would say that's different, it varies by industry, and we study it closely. The operating conditions, things like resonance and cavitation and system configuration, especially poorly designed and configured pump systems, those are actually bigger than what's shown here. But improper maintenance is typically the largest. We asked a second question. What is holding you back? Why are you not solving this problem, do you think? What's holding back Industry 4.0 at scale with your organization? Guess what? The answer, once again, was related to the workers. Almost half of the challenge is identified around adoption of the technology by the workers. Not the technology, it's the adoption. So it might be tempting for some to conclude we have workers performing improper maintenance, we have workers who don't want to adopt the technology. What's the problem? The workers. Of course, that is the wrong conclusion. The workers want to do the job. The workers want to do their work and go home safely, bring a paycheck home to their family. The right thing to focus on is building technology that supports the workers and elevates the workers. So that is the challenge that we've learned time and time again over the last decade and a half that we've been doing this. And of course, AI is the topic of the day. And rightly, I think it is right to treat this as an extremely important dynamic. But it's also important to recognize that in the machine health world, proactively solving machine health problems, AI is not that new. In fact, we've been doing it for a long time. We were doing it 10 years ago. When we had the impact that I described that has continued with more and more organizations over the last decade, we were already applying the AI approach that I will show you 10 years ago. In fact, if I go further back, when I was in grad school doing my PhD at Penn State, it was a DARPA-funded project on a specific vibration application on a nuclear Navy submarine funded by DARPA. And I was writing algorithms to optimize and solve complex, multivariable, constrained optimization problems using the power of computing. If that sounds a little bit like AI, that's because it is. It's the same basic approach. The difference is that today we have more data. The difference is the quantity and the quality of the data to solve the problem at scale. And of course, the generative AI tools simply help us tap into the subject matter expertise that has been there, but it's just easier to get now. And there is good news. So I think it's safe to say that we are well past crossing the chasm with industrial IoT and predictive maintenance platforms. The adoption curve, we're into the early majority. That's the good news. The bad news is that the majority has not yet adopted this technology. And that's just reality, and that's the gap that we really want to close. The more important way to look at it is, I heard this said a few times already this week, is that reliability is not a one-time event. Machine health optimization is not a one-time event. It is a journey. And that's very literally true in the customer experience that we deliver, because putting a vibration sensor on a machine, that achieves something. Even just taking a route-based measurement on a machine, it achieves something. But that's a one-time thing. Progress really comes when you get full-scale adoption of the maintenance team, ultimately across your entire organization. It becomes more powerful when they collaborate with reliability engineers, ultimately with the operators, with the leadership of the organization. It extends and becomes more complete when you can tackle the complex assets, the challenging ones, intermittent assets, like overhead cranes and conveyance machines, robots. It becomes more complete when you can do integrations, when you can integrate this data and these workflows into your CMMS maintenance software, into your automation software, into your data historians. And ultimately having advanced tools that go beyond vibration to tackle the really challenging problems. That is what the complete progress of adoption looks like. Another way to look at it, we work with Gartner a lot these days. We talk to them, and they put all these technologies on a curve. And this is just helpful to realize and remember there are so many new technologies coming at you. But they have industrial IoT rightly placed on the slope of enlightenment. Again, that's great. That's true. I agree with that location. The important thing to remember is that the experiences, the outcomes vary widely. And just to recognize that, and this is something you can invest in and safely commit to today because it is validated. Companies have been doing it for a long time, and you can too. Because industry has been asking for some pretty straightforward things for a while. Number one, eliminate the blind spots on all of our applications with a unified software platform. Number two, illuminate the data to be proactive, actionable insights, not data. And number three, deliver accurate and actionable AI to do it as easily as possible, to minimize the burden on the people. And here's what that looks like. When I say we've been doing this for a long time, I want to be a little bit specific. Our AI loop in solving the industrial machine health problem looks like this. First of all, it all starts with data generation. Generating billions and billions of high-fidelity measurements. That is the foundation, and it's a clean data set. And we know the features, we know the context of these machines. It's simply a matter of extracting the features that represent the root causes of the problem, not the failure, but the root causes. Then training the algorithms on those root causes and detecting them automatically, and providing that feedback to the user and providing the feedback back to the algorithm so that we continue to learn and institutionalize that knowledge. This is what we have been doing for a long time. Because the body of knowledge exists. We did not have to invent this. FSD's wall chart, you've seen these, and they're great. The subject matter expertise for vibration analysis exists. It's simply a matter of taking that knowledge and building it into the algorithms, building it into the AI. So, as I said, there are three keys that I think best point towards doing this more successfully at full scale. Number one, people, people, people. This is the first and most important. It's all about collaboration between human expertise, which will never go away and will never cease to be the most important thing, collaboration between human expertise and advanced tools. Because AI is transforming the way that we work. It streamlines decision making. It makes knowledge accessible. It helps train new workers faster and more. But if and only if it actually supports the needs of the workers who actually have to go do something different. Key to success number two is to begin with the end in mind. Again, I've heard this topic addressed several ways in some of the great presentations we've had this week, and we very much agree. It's about playing the long game, but then taking a measurable step that builds confidence with your team. A couple ways we look at this, just a few topics about beginning with the end in mind. First of all, as I said, the foundation for AI is not so much about the AI and the algorithms as it is about the data. You need to get the right data. And the way to think about it, in my opinion, is you need to capture enough data often enough to capture all of the root causes of all of the things that degrade your machinery. That's the key. Do you get the right data? Do you own the data? Does your partner offer more than vibration monitoring so that when you have the blocking and tackling in place, you can expand? Does your partner offer integration to legacy systems like the CMMS and the data historians? These are the things that lead to a complete solution. And the third key to success is versatility. A one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work because different organizations have different needs. Every plant, every location, even within one company, has a different team and different needs and different capabilities. And it's really key to have the ability to match the solutions that you deploy and the services that you deploy to match the needs of that plant, that team. One way to look at that is in terms of the services. A lot of companies, including ours, deliver services along with the technology. And machine health is a lot like human health, fitness. There are some individuals and maintenance teams who are capable of exercising solo with minimal outside involvement. I will tell you, in my experience, it's relatively rare. Most companies that we serve start on the other end of the spectrum with a personal trainer providing hands-on support. This is a good way to start because it builds confidence, weekly calls, daily calls, to help build confidence in your team using this new technology. Most of the customers we serve end up in the middle with more like a co-pilot, providing guidance through the software, which is a lot like taking a remote fitness class, like a Peloton class. But the important thing is that Each team will have different needs, and having something that's scalable and versatile, that is the third key to success that we have seen. And again, there are companies that have done this and continue to do this with great impact and scale. Dozens and dozens of companies are doing this at full scale. Companies like Toyota, Georgia Pacific, and Guardian Industries under Coke, who we were speaking with the good folks from Toyota here earlier today. They've been using this technology for a long time, and they will tell you about it. The key thing is to share. That's why these events are so important, to come and to share the stories and learn from each other. Rayonier Advanced Materials, actually, I will tell you, some of the smaller organizations that are very large but have a little bit less bureaucracy are actually using the technology even better. Rayonier Advanced Materials is one such company. C.A. McDonald's the vice president of operations, and this is how he phrased it. It is as if we have added multiple excellent vibration technicians to our organization because they're no longer wasting time walking around with a box in their hands. Their time is effective. They are elevated. They are solving problems. It's like being superhuman. This is the goal. So, to wrap up, just 3 key takeaways. Number 1, people, people, people. It's about accomplishing our vision to build technology that elevates workers. It is the collaboration between human expertise and advanced tools that is holding us back. It's not necessarily the technology. Number 2, beginning with the end in mind. Taking a long-term approach, understanding where you want to be, all the needs of your organization, all the needs of your team, of your plant, but then bringing that back and taking it a confident, easy first step so that you build confidence and momentum with your team. And then number 3 is versatility. A one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work because different organizations, different plants, different teams have different needs, and being able to match the capability to the need of the team, that's the third big key of success. So hopefully these insights are helpful to you. Hopefully we can close this gap, help us achieve our dream of building technology to elevate workers and achieve the ultimate outcome, which is zero downtime, zero waste, and zero injuries for industry. Thank you very much.